Hi there guys, Vindicore here. I wanted to reply to my own video that I made last week about my rant about the changes to the subscription that SWE are making. Ultimately the changing of the 500 station cash that can be spent on anything that station cash can be spent on, and changing that so it's 2,000 station cash that can be spent on one single item that's not Player Studio or bundles or other exclusions may apply. Now since then we've learnt, or the general feeling seems to be that the issue is that the station cash when it's bought can be spent on Player Studio items which loses out 40% of the that income which SWE have currently made, because they've got to give out to the creators of the content, and rightly so, because the content has been created by these creative guys and it's their idea ultimately. And this is a problem, apparently. I'm not quite sure how it's different from just, say, buying 500 station cash every month anyway, but well, apparently it is, and the SOE have decided to change it. So let's see how we can fix this and make it better for people in general. Now what I'm suggesting is that 2,000 station cash can be spent on multiple items up to that 2,000 station cash, because that kind of means that you can buy lots of small items and that kind of thing, which I think is generally a good idea. That's one of the major sticking points that people have with this new system, is that you can only buy the one item for 2,000 station cash. So this, however, comes with its own problem, and that is that you've then got these the pseudo SMED books, as I call them in my video, which can be spent on anything apart from Player Studio items and bundles and the other restrictions. And you've got your regular station cash that can be spent on things, and then you've also got cert points that can be spent on other things as well. So you've got three potential currencies, which is going to get confusing if two of them are called station cash. So, I mean, there's various fixes that can be done, but I've got two suggestions which I'd like to present you with. Now the first one of those is that you rename the pseudo SMED books, the ones that you get through your membership, call it Araxium and make it so that you then got three of them, which is okay, but as I say, it's confusing. And I'm not really sure why bundles are excluded, but apparently they are. So it's an issue, because you say you go to buy your latest gun, let's say you're buying one of the NS weapons, you go there, you can buy it with station cash, you can buy it with your membership station cash, or you can buy it with cert points. And that's pretty confusing for the average new player at the very least, let alone somebody that's not known about the changes and the membership changes and all the rest. A new player is going to see this and think, what on earth is going on? So what I would like to do is I'd like to think back to, well, how do they fix this Araxium issue back in the original? Because they took out Araxium in beta. It was one of the 4 resources that we had then, and it could be spent on upgrading your guns, and they changed it. They took it out and they changed it so that you could only buy weapons. Well, they got rid of the Araxium so you could buy them instead with cert points. It streamlined the whole system, made it a lot simpler, and that, I think, is the solution here. You take these pseudo station cash and you make it so that you simply get 1,500, 2,000 cert points every month with your membership. Now that means that the player is then free to spend those on whatever the hell they like that they can with cert points, and you can change it so that, say, camos and things could potentially be bought with cert points, SOE made camos. And that means that you can then potentially buy a huge range of different things. It means that cert points are more important, and you get people working towards them a lot better. And cert points already can't be spent on Player Studio items, so that's relatively simple, relatively straightforward. You've got to change the odd thing here or there. You need to change like daily deals to make it so that they're cert point based as well. But generally that's not really an issue. You just then have 2 options for buying things. And station cash is saved for, well, buying anything you want, but also Player Studio items if you want those. It's a simple system. In my mind, it's relatively elegant and it works. There are other systems to sort this whole sticky situation out, but overall, I think that one should work relatively well. So hopefully those take all of our ideas into consideration and come up with a membership system that is good for both new players and veterans alike. I mean, obviously with cert points, the issue is that as you become more experienced, cert points become less important. But then if you're starting a new character, then, well, you need cert points yet again. So ultimately I think it should work relatively well, particularly if and when the devs bring out new weapons, new vehicles, new leadership things that cert points can be spent on, because then it all comes down to it. You're still not paying for power, because cert points can increase your power in certain areas for a small amount, but the more cert points you spend, you get diminishing returns. So you need to spend 1,000 cert points for the max rank or something, and it doesn't make you an equivalent amount better compared with at the start. So I think that'll work, and that's the solution that I would suggest seeing, although if something better can be thought up, great. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. If you have any ideas yourself, please let the community service guys know, and they can pass those on to SOE directly. Good luck on the battlefield, guys.
what are you doing? It flipped over. I kind of got stuck in the wall. It like jumped in the air and flipped on me. Where are you spawning? You pulling another one? Nah, I'm gonna look for a little bit now. Hopefully not. Copy. That's how that's happened. They have two hack marks sitting on there. On our